Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Duval Dive. I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game.
And I'm Travis Holmes with BigCatCountry.com.
And you can listen to this thing on the Believe Podcast Network. It's guest time. Families in the building. Sure, Christmas. There you go. Let us be among the last to wish you Happy New Year. All that other crap. Punchline's this. With all the families out the way, that doesn't mean we don't bring our family of fellow creators in the building. The Men In Teal are in the building. The first, last, we won't say the only line of defense for the Duval Devout, but certainly part of that conversation. I had to throw that in. I like that movie a lot. I know the play on words, and y'all's thumbnail's even great with that. Jimbo, Agent J, welcome in the building. Travis already dropped the so we got that in there.
You are now in the mix with the Men In Teal.
Let's go. Okay, he's got his own soundboard. Drop it, Jay.
Let's go. Hey, can I just say something real quick, man? So I listen to you guys on the Spotify. I tell Travis that on my way to work on Thursdays. Thursday morning, I put on the Wednesday night show. And so I don't see your opening. I hear it, whatever, but I don't see it. So it's dope that you updated the opening again.
Yeah. Listen,
and y'all got pancakes on there. Y'all got BJ Green. You know what I'm saying? The trip six.
Fun fact, I asked Travis what defensive contribution he should make. Before he mentioned anything regarding a corner, he mentioned the WWE hit from BJ Green. Bro. So there you go. You got to give him credit for that. I got to give him his credit.
That's it, bro. Love to see BJ Green and Danny Strigow getting that Strighouse. Getting that playtime, man. Been asking for that for a long time.
Yes, sir.
So is a lot of the Duval Devout. We'll leave it at that. Listen, all y'all have jumped in with your own sound clips. You got your statement there about the intro. Jay got in there dropping the Men In Teal drop, which thank you for that. I might even need to add that to the dashboard so I ain't got to inconvenience you with you being a guest in the house. But that's okay.
It's all good, brother. It's all good, man. I got the full set. Last time I just had my earbuds on. I was just like, I said I might as well just go full setup like how I normally do the show. So
we're grateful for it. But yeah, let's get into the mix, gentlemen. Here. So and Travis, we spoke this morning, and I'm glad you reminded me of it. Then and now. But I'm just gonna ask the question blatantly, and it's something I even brought up. It was funny. It was a Chiefs podcast, but they were doing a breakdown of the playoffs because they aren't relevant anyway. And I'm the one that had to keep bringing up a defense that had 22 interceptions. Mm-hmm. We talk so much about Liam Cohen, about Jimmy Stones, James Gladstone. How much do you guys feel like, I'm just going to throw it to the panel here because it's the question should be asked. Is Campanelli getting slept on the most out of the people here in Duval?
I will let the guests go first, if you don't mind.
Please, yeah, Jay, drop it.
I would say I think he is being slept on. I think he is being slept on. I know what makes me sleep on him a little bit, which I guess could be kind of petty, is because I tweeted out 2 weeks ago, damn, Campanile doing Campanile things, which it doesn't really mean anything except for give up a lot of yards and potentially a touchdown on the first drive. And then figure it out. But that's all. That's my only knock is that I think we come out in a lot of, especially early in the season, 5, 6, 7 yards off coverage from receivers. And it's just like, damn, I understand that you want to kind of see what the other team is doing and how they're going to try to attack us. But it's like, and I understand there's probably no other way to figure out what they're doing other than to see what they're doing right now.
Right.
So they go in there and they start tweaking stuff. Teams typically don't do anything after that first drive. And if they do, maybe a missed assignment. So nothing, to me, no big critiques on it right now. The biggest critique for me, honestly, was in the offseason saying, hey, because he never told us what the defense was. But outside of that, I can see why he'll be underrated because, I mean, you know what it is, man. You got Goldilocks, man. You got this all that. It's offense, scoring. If we weren't scoring 30, however many points a game, I think he'll be getting a lot more love because they will be saying, "Hey, they're winning in spite of Trevor Lawrence. Look at the job this defense is doing. They're getting the ball back to him. They're squandering away offensive opportunities. So I think if that was a situation, he'd get way more love. But that's fine. I don't need no poaching. Just like how we've been all season, under the radar. I don't even need people to know who Campanile is. Let our defense let us go get 35 turnovers next year, 40, like until you can force it down to people's face. Like you just have to put it in their face, Paul. Like you have to. Like you really got to just put it in their face, and over and over and over until they understand that this is what his defense does. His defense is gonna give up a little bit. Bend don't break, which everybody says bend don't break, but I've seen bend don't break, and I've seen it break here a million times.
Well, and that's because they remembered it was a football squad and not a hockey rotation. I think that's an element of it. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I think it all. I don't want to say it right now, but it all. A lot of what's happening right now kind of all circles back to something I said on our first when we first came on here, but I'll wait till later in the pod to bring it up.
Ooh, teasing. I like that. I mean, Jimbo, what would you add?
I'm just gonna say, by the league in mass, the Jaguars themselves are underrated. I think we can all agree on that. So by proxy, Campanile is. Yes, he's even more so underrated because of the things that Jay said. The Liam Cohen and him hitting his chest on the sidelines, and Trevor Lawrence, and the offense is just clicking and scoring, and we're doing it through the air, and we're getting all these style points and stuff that people expected to see from Trevor Lawrence, and for certain stretches you didn't. And people were giving up, so that's why the spotlight is more on the offense than it is on the defense. But the thing that Jay has a problem with him, I actually don't, because of the reason of what he said. Of you got to see what they're doing first, and also I disagree with the why he didn't tell us what his defense is, because I don't think there's a name for that defense. If you guys watch it, it's so many different things, so many different looks. He goes through like 2 or 3 sets in one look. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it looks like it's cover one, and then they rotate into a like a cloud, like a cover 3 cloud. It's crazy.
On Madden, they have it listed as a disguise 3-4.
I mean, they can call it what they want to call it because it's a hodgepodge of multiple different defenses,
right.
And that's where it comes down to. Because it doesn't have a name because they play to their players' strengths and they play to the circumstances surrounding the opposing team. So a lot of the times, even personnel-wise, they put the personnel on the field based on the down and distance, not necessarily what the offense is doing. So just from that perspective, it's like it doesn't have a name because his skill, his strength is countering whatever you're going to do. But to counter whatever you're going to do, I then first need to know what you're going to do. So I have to play it a little bland in that first quarter. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, all right, this is where he cooks. So that's why, from my perspective, the Jaguars generally start off slow, both defensively and offensively. Like even, Cam Ward, they had the first series where they just drive down the field and it's like, oh, dang. But also, we've seen that pretty religiously as far as other teams having moderate.
Give us your best shot. Let us see what you do best, because you're going to do whatever you think that the best plays that you can do. You're going to do them right now. And
right. Okay, you're going to show us. You're going to show us your game plan on what you've been practicing all week as far as what you plan on doing today, and then I'm immediately going to know how to take that away the next series. And from that point on, you're going to be in hell because now you're in my rural. Like I understand that philosophy at least generally.
I'm not stuck here with you. You're stuck here with me. No, there's that element as well, and everything you say holds true, gentlemen. I think. And listen, what offense puts butts in seats, defense wins championships, yada yada yada. Although you mentioned the Skies 3-4 thing, I got to tell you that's an awfully big linebacker there, because I'm pretty sure they typically run 2 D tackles instead of a nose and some linebacker. But whatever. Hey, what a game!
Eric Armstead, I think, still. I was just listening to something. He was just on with Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
He listed. He described himself as a defensive end just yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, tomato. I don't care. I don't care what you call yourself. What are you on the field? Don't change nothing to me. Oh my
God, I ain't like snapping yesterday.
But not only is Campanelli being like undersold or underrepresented, underrated, whatever label you want to put that in, a bow you want to wrap that in. But the actual defense itself, like the fact that they're the number 1 run defense, is being underrated by guys over at NFL Network. All the different podcasts and the content creators you keep talking to. If you've seen the Buffalo media, you've heard like those guys talking about the Jaguars have the best run defense, and this is again Dan Mitchell, one of the Buffalo Bills takes. Basically that the Jacksonville Jaguars have the quote unquote best run defense, like the Buffalo Bills have the quote unquote best secondary, because the Jaguars have the least amount of rushing yards allowed because they've been rushed on so few times. Essentially, that's his overall take. I'm not going to read the rest of that nonsense because it's truly, from my perspective, and I won't call it fully nonsense because I think it has some truth to that, and we're going to talk about it on Friday's preview episode to get into the real deep dive part of it. But the short version is, I don't think he's actually watched the Jacksonville Jaguars film, and that's not throwing shade. That's just saying he's someone who looked at the numbers and was like, "I see this, I see this, I see this." Yeah, but the
logic is dumb. The logic is just dumb. Of course, the attempts are going to be lower when they can't run the ball. At some point in the game, they have to say, "Okay, we have to throw." They're putting belt to ass right now, guys.
No, I'm about to say, at some point you realize, we're down 18, 20, 30 points. We can't. We don't have Saquon Barkley here where we could just. We're not facing Saquon Barkley every week. Where it's just like, or Derrick Henry. Hey, just give him the ball and then he's going to score a touch. No.
Yeah, the logic is just dumb. Like it's dumb, bro.
So if we have an average margin of victory of 19 points. Obviously, you can't then continue running the ball if eventually it's the half and you're down 20 points, or it's the half and you're down 14. That's how this works. If you got to keep up with this offense, and it's not going to work. I mean, the Jaguars had the same situation when they played against the Bills, and I believe it was the 2020. No, I said it. No, it was last year. What am I talking about? The game last year. Travis Etienne's average over 6 yards a carry. I believe Travis Etienne and Dearness Johnson both had over 6 yards a carry. And they just couldn't continue running the ball because Ryan Nelson's defense gave up like 34 points at half. Eventually, you gotta stop running the ball. That's how this works. So it's not like a wild take.
Here's the silliness of that, though, gentlemen. And I'm speaking as the data man for a living. I know you do data too, Travis. Settle down. But I find it fascinating that they'll use that take. Oh, well, there's so much scoring, they stop running the football late, and yet in the very same take, we'll say that Trevor is a fluke. Which one is it, folks?
Well, this is the fun part because again, he skipped over the one stat that actually like gives evidence to that. Like, hey, there is a thing called yard per carry that kind of exists where you can kind of figure out how teams are, and obviously the Jaguars are second in the league in yards per carry also. So if you don't want to use pure rushing stats to say like overall yardage, you can just say, nah, dude, they're still second in the league. They're second best at how much they give up on average. And they face Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowell, CMC, Jonathan Taylor Thomas twice. Yeah, right. Like the Seahawks guys, the Rams guys, like Breece Hall. Like this is not nobody. And none of those dudes got 75 yards.
And none of them got over 75 yards.
Yeah,
none of them got 75 yards. To be clear,
no, JT did.
JT got 74 on 21 carries.
In the Jacksonville game.
In second game, 74 yards, 21 carries for a 3.5 average.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it right now.
But I'm saying in the first game in Jacksonville, he didn't have 75.
He got both games he had in the 70s. Both of them were between 70 and 74 yards. Nobody hit 75. Right. So in my head, I'm sitting there like, what are we doing? What are we doing here and having that conversation? Like I don't get none of that at that point. But to be clear, this is also the same guy that hammered the Jacksonville Jaguars for hiring Liam Cohen in the first place. Nobody's talking about that part. I'm like, no, you can't be out here caught in 4K saying the guy who won 13 games in his first season was going to fail. You put 2 minutes of content out that said his suit was going to fail, and then you're going to double down and say, all right, well, then this number one thing in the league is also not as good as y'all think it is because I said so. Come on, bro.
I'm just gonna say this, man. You know, shout out to James Cook too, man. You know, he fought for a contract, got the contract, and then balled out. You know, that doesn't always happen. So shout out to him. But James Cook is the rushing leader, correct?
Yep.
Okay. At the time, Jonathan Taylor was the rushing leader when we played him the first time. And at that time, it was the number one rusher versus the number one rush defense. Can anybody guess how that game went?
Oh, it didn't go well.
And Jonathan Taylor only had, what did you say, 74 yards?
Correct.
Yeah, 70. I think he had 74 in the second one. So if the first one was even less, it was like 70. Yeah, 71, something like that.
So, but anyway, my point is that we've already we played this movie. We've been in the playoffs since, I guess, week 11. Or no, week 11 was the Chargers. Yeah. So, I guess we've been in the playoffs since the Chargers. And we've had, we won 8 games. So at least 6 of those were our Super Bowl, apparently.
According to the other.
So, I mean, look, we got a shit ton of Super Bowl experience winning. We know how it feels to go up against the number one rusher. We're the number one rush defense.
We know how to beat the number one team and the number one team in the league.
We know how to beat the number one team in the league. Well, I guess technically, no, we don't. Technically, no, because I would say the Seahawks. The Seahawks are the number one
in the conference. And by the way, doing
in the conference, yes,
so that the one true home field you can account for there apparently is something they could still overcome. Of course, Parker Washington had so much yardage, he was starting to, breathe a little heavy in that thin air with all that he got open. But your point is
you don't think we stopped them from being the number one? That loss for them. I'm talking to Jimbo. If they had an extra win on their record right now, they might. I don't know what the Seahawks record was, but the Broncos were the number one. They were the number one team coming into that game, man. I mean,
right. But that's been my overall issue, is the fact that it's not just Campanile who's being underrated, but then it's also the Jaguars' accomplishments whenever they do come, whether that's on Trevor Lawrence, whether that's on the defense, doesn't matter who it is. Mm-hmm. Only person that's getting reasonable credit right now, and I say reasonable, and I'm really using that loosely, is maybe Liam Cohen. And that's very loose. You know what I mean?
All they're doing is calling him a coach of the year candidate. That's correct.
I mean, and they're barely doing that. That's because other people are saying he deserves to be in the conversation, but not because they believe he's going to win it. Because Duval, of course.
That's it. Respect ain't coming. Whoa.
Yeah, small market.
Can
I just say I hate that so much because Green Bay is a small market team.
Absolutely, and the NFL hates it. Oh no! Can we get on this?
Technically, Denver is small market.
So I lived up near Denver. For 6 years at one point when I was up at Michigan, and after that time. And no, when I tell you, the NFL in very many ways, I've talked to 2 people that work for the NFL offices like that. No, they don't love the fact that Green Bay is what it is, but Green Bay's history makes it so that that's not even a conversation. That's happening. But like no other team will ever own a franchise like the Green Bay Packers, where the city owns the franchise like the Green Bay Packers, because the NFL will never want that to happen again. But they don't love that small market thing. They want the money that comes along with the big market. So to be clear, yes, Green Bay is a small market, but the NFL don't like that either. You know what I mean? That's just happening because it has happened.
You can't do it. You can pretty much only do the draft there.
It kind of is what it is. But we talked about Anthony Campanella's defense, but I heard a few people this week talked about the whole wrinkles that's kind of come out of his defense since that bye week, where he keeps putting Travon Walker and Josh Allen on the same side, and I thought that's just that I'm so ready to continue seeing that, because they've done it a few times, but it's like now it's been to the point where they've gotten like 8. It's been I believe I'm looking at the stats now. I had it written down here somewhere. I was just like, they've done it. They did it 5 times against the Titans last week. But they've done it on 18 times overall since the bye, basically.
Mhm.
But Travis, I was told that putting him inside makes him inferior to Aiden Hutchinson because he doesn't get enough sacks, and that makes him a bust.
Inferior to Aiden Hutchinson.
We
we got to do this again. We still got to do this.
Right,
Jesus.
It wasn't aimed at you. I'm just making fun.
I know, man. They got on 18 snaps. They got 18 dropbacks. They got 10 pressures, 2 sacks. With them on the same size, and again, that's just like one of those things that you got to believe that they're gonna keep doing in the playoffs as this thing keeps going along.
Yeah,
playoffs. And this is how much they use those too.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
because you can't quadruple team them. Like, goddamn,
Pick one, Humpy Bumpy.
for real. Got to.
You could try.
I'm gonna be
But then
honest.
also-
Go ahead, Travis.
No. I just wanted to, and the last thing to give again, put the little feather in the cap for Anthony Campanelli, like Matthew on X. Now, real MBB says, they started the season with Tyson Campbell, Travis Hunter, and Jordan Lewis at cornerback, and now the Jaguars are headed to the playoffs without all 3 of them. And that's something that again just gets swept under the rug when you look at not just what Anthony Campanelli has done with the 22 INTs, but they did it with 22 INTs without the 3 guys that they thought realistically were going to be starting as your 3 top guys at cornerback, and also doing it while developing someone like an Antonio Johnson to have 5 interceptions. That's like, we ain't talking about none of that stuff. I'm like, you what he's done in the context of this overall season, I'm just sitting there like, that's wild that dude ain't getting the credit that he obviously deserves, being tied for the top of the league in the interceptions, bro.
Damn, it's kind of like those guys, like they worked out really well at the combine, and somebody paid attention to their measurables and their arm length and their 40 times. It's crazy.
That sounds like a Trent Baalke conversation. I don't know.
It all comes back around, right, though. That's what I was talking about earlier on the intro was, bro. This team, and I talked about it on the first time. This team is not like it. This wasn't your typical 4-win team,
right?
10 one possession losses in the season, where anybody who actually had you honestly, you only needed one eye to see that Doug Peterson and whatever was going on with the offense wasn't working, and he didn't have a connection with Trevor Lawrence. You could see that Ryan Nielsen just said, you know what? Whatever conventional football is, let's twist it on its ass and do it that way. But to still be competitive in those games, bro, we had the physical, tough football team there. They were completely being misguided.
Up to the point where you said physical and tough, Jay, is where I'll push back. They do have a complete line that has to be accounted for. Like,
but honestly, to me, they're not. They may grade a little bit better, but I mean, to me, they're not doing anything like tremendously better as a unit. They're playing better. But I mean, I'm looking at Anton. I'm still looking at Anton. I'm still looking at shit. Fucking Walker Little has to fucking play. I'm looking at guys I'm looking at guys on the team, on the line that have been here. That didn't just get here. There's Robert Hainsey is like the new guy.
You are saying it, bro. No, you are absolutely saying what I was about to say. Because that's when you start getting into the conversation of whether or not, like, where's Liam Cohen's flowers? Like, that's the next part of that equation.
Yeah, because you are getting the best out of it, and that's why I said, even on our first thing, I said I think that Trent Baalke should deserve credit when it comes to knowing how to actually build the bones of a championship caliber team because if you look at how he built that San Francisco team, I don't care about all his politics or how he could get along with people or not.
I'm cutting you off right there. We're gonna have to mute this man.
No, that's part of it. That is huge. That's huge. That is huge. But when you have to take a piss poor franchise and the roster that was. Mm-hmm. And when you leave, think about it. When you leave, they start taking off again, and it's not like they weren't competitive for 3 years in a row before you got fired. It's not like they weren't competitive, because before those 3 years, they hadn't been competitive for 5 years.
Okay. So I'll meet you halfway on this one, and I will say that Trent Baalke built up a floor for this Jacksonville Jaguars team that did not previously exist. I will meet you there in saying that. I will also say that Trent Baalke built up a team in his image, and unfortunately, that image wasn't strong enough. That foundation was weak enough. And also, you mentioned the fact that he hired these coaches that didn't work out. But the unfortunate part of that is he hired those coaches. Those were his coaches that he hired that did not work out. And the coaches that the Jacksonville Jaguars needed, who were going to be more modern, who were going to be younger, would not work for Trent Baalke. So that was never going to work. You can say he was a great talent evaluator while saying he should have been a great assistant GM or a great right-hand man if he wasn't doing the things that were rumored to be happening behind the scenes. And that's what I'm saying. I think if he could have found a way to not have to interact with the other people at all, because you are now making what's your boy that didn't know like anybody on the roster? I forget his name just that quickly. Urban Meyer, duh. Like you basically saying that Trent Baalke should have been a virtual GM. Like that's all I'm getting. That man should have been on Zoom. Because
at least part of the scouting department. Because look, you just talked about it. Antonio Johnson, 5 picks. He wouldn't be on the roster if had it not been for Trent Baalke. Devin Lloyd, I understand. We got the right coach in Devin Lloyd, 5 picks.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. So you are arguing
interceptions.
But he also you gotta acknowledge like Tyson Campbell exists.
Yeah, no, these are But did he draft Tyson Campbell?
He extended him. No. He paid him.
He paid him.
He paid Cam Robinson and paid Walker Little.
Nobody's 1,000. No.
Let's keep it a buck.
We're talking about
the guys Cam Little.
Not
Cam Little. Walker Little. He paid Cam Robinson. He paid Tyson Campbell. He paid Foye, even though he drafted a billion linebackers.
Yeah, some guys got to get paid. But I'm talking about guys who are making. I'm talking about guys who are making an impact on your football team, on this football team right now. And I understand it's year one, but which also means we don't know because like you said.
Hold on, because I know we want to move on. So hold on.
I do want to move on so bad, but
Travis.
Let me say this.
Wait.
Your job as
hold on, wait. Give me this real quick, Travis. The fact is, Travis, what you said, Jay, he said what you said. Like he gave us a floor because the original conversation we had was there wasn't a floor. Like the franchise was so bad, Trent Baalke came in, at least gave us a floor. Travis just echoed that sentiment to you. That's the whole basis of your conversation. Like we had a floor, and before we didn't. That's a true fact. That's what you stated. That's what we know happened. Before the Jaguars were just bad. We weren't anything. Like we were a joke of a football team.
Terrible.
And got us
terrible. It was, bro. I'm telling you, hey, like I said, this is my 14th. This is my 13th, 14th season going into that stadium. Every week, every other week, however many weeks, 7, 8 years. That shit's been tear.
So he gave us the floor. He gave us the floor. Now.
That's it.
But he also fucked up.
He destroyed that floor.
You got to be able to interact with people. The reason why he hired Doug Peterson because he couldn't hire nobody else. Like nobody else wanted to work with him.
And the reason Liam Cohen
also it was a match made in hell.
So do y'all remember that no other NFL team interviewed Liam Cohen to be a head coach this cycle?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of folks just forget that. It's like it just went out of people's ears. But I'm like, no. Liam Cohen would not work for this man. So let's just start there and end there, really. The fact of the matter is this guy is the guy you need.
Your reputation is going to precede you. And why would I want to start my coaching career with somebody in a bad marriage with somebody who I don't have any attachment with and has all of this stink on them? So I completely understand. Like I said, he not winning no popularity contest. But if I want to get some shit done, like I said, to me, at the end of the day, I feel like Gladstone, the whole front office, I feel like they inherited a Ferrari, and they just had to tune
Ferrari, and they got like $70 million of dead cap. And you say I'm talking about the Ferrari? Nah, man, they made a gourmet meal. They made ratatouille out of some average ingredients. I'm saying it like it is. No. See, you being nice. I'm being real.
No, but they also got Trevor Lawrence, who turns regular people into above average players.
Brother, have you ever dated somebody who you knew was as fine as it all can be and was just this incredible woman, but she just has some rough around the edges moments, and you just need to get her right? Come on, man. We all know what I'm talking about. Like Trevor Lawrence had some times what folks was questioning whether or not he was going to be the guy he is right now, or if he was going to be like an early time Baker Mayfield. Like, let's keep it above.
Which is fine too, but that doesn't get away from the fact that I think that he's made pretty much every player on offense around him, he's made them better throughout his entire NFL career.
I'm sorry. Are we going to give the guy credit for drafting what was obviously the can't miss generational thing at the time?
I'm not even talking about. This is awful bulky. I'm not even talking about bulky picking Trevor. I'm just talking about what this new staff inherited, because they inherited Trevor Lawrence, and and some people say, oh, whatever about the rails. But what
you taking us off the rails, Travis? What you talking about? You part of the
I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to not let the last word be some nonsense. I almost said some bullshit, but I tried to stop myself.
I went full Chris Tucker on your bull jive, right?
All right. But I just want, again, I'm just focusing on the fact that like all these guys who are underrated, and while having the underrated conversation, we're trying to give people who I don't think deserve any sort of credit, and that's where I kind of tried to draw the line. But overall, again, Liam Cohen was underrated. Going back to the underration part of the conversation, because putting it in perspective, the Titans, they kept Brian Callahan on, despite the obvious fact that wasn't going to work. Like the Raiders hired Pete Carroll and then fired the man a year later. Like they even hired the GM from Tampa, and they ain't even interview Cohen. Like that's the crazy part about all of this. So like the Jets went with Aaron Glenn, and I understand that one because I actually like Aaron Glenn.
I like Aaron Glenn too. I hated that we had to do that to them.
Yeah,
but they hired him based on the strength of his defense, and then they immediately gutted his defense. Like. So I'm just like the fact that they have the leadership that they built up in this organization between the EVP, between the GM and the coach, and they got that sync. They got everyone in sync and everyone walking to the same beat, which is something that the Jacksonville Jaguars could not do in the past. But
super credit for that. Super credit for vibe. Like that's a like vibes are a real thing. Like having people feel good about what they do and their talents is a good thing. Like these are all great encompassing, and I give them all the credit for, like I said, for getting what you're getting. And now, and they're maximizing potential. They're putting the pegs in the round holes now. They're putting the squares in the square holes now. They're not just trying to make shit force. They're not forcing shit to fit. You have pieces. Put them where they're supposed to be at, because it works if you take those pieces and you put them where they're supposed to be at. It's just a lot. Yeah, I don't know, but now, like I said, but it's working.
If folks outside of Jacksonville wonder why the dude might have a little chip on his shoulder. When all he's done is win, no matter what, like ever stop, then
really he's taking the DJ Khaled defense.
Yeah, DJ Khaled. yeah, absolutely. But he's taking the Jaguars to be from a 4-win team to a 4-loss team the next year, while making, honestly, now this is where I'm pushed. Like he's made basically ho-hum basic football transactions, like the glue guys. Jacoby Myers, the offensive line additions that you were talking about earlier. Like
Gladstone. We're talking about Gladstone.
But that's Gladstone, that's Cohen, that's all of them because they walk in the same beat. That's all. They all getting credit there.
Brain trust. I just call them the brain trust.
Yeah. So at that point, it's just like. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay is eliminated from the playoffs. I think that's very clear that this dude was obviously underrated, and I know Tampa Bay did with the injuries and everything else, but the OC's job is to find ways to win despite injuries. They went through injuries last year in Tampa Bay. They went through injuries this year. Jaguars went through injuries, and they found a way to win really on both sides of the ball. Anthony Campanelli and Gladstone, and Cohen. So both of those guys have shown that they've earned their chops, and I just want to make sure they get the shout out, I guess, for the moves that they've made. And when you look back, you can say objectively, none of these moves were like huge things where all of Duval, about all of us, we all had questions on what the hell is this team gonna be. We got questions coming out of the ears in this preseason. Like we didn't know exactly how things are gonna play out, and it has 13 dang wins.
So speaking of underrated, I think it's time to have the actual meaningful conversation here because and as the dude outside the dome, the one that's not the official card carrying member of the Duval Devout, yet who had to sell for Trent Baalke previously in much the similar fashion as this lightsaber duel with Jay and Travis. The piece that really isn't getting talked enough about, and I teased on the Duval Dive live after the securing of the division of the AFC South. I don't see. Am I out of my mind thinking that Trevor Lawrence's year this year is the single best quarterback performance in franchise history?
Are you saying
the best quarterback season of the Jaguars history is this 2025 season?
I can't.
That's tough.
I can't say that because it's not over.
Well,
because it's not like I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because there's an argument. And I know like you won't laugh at me, but I know people will. Like there's an argument for Blake Bortles.
What?
I mean,
like
we're talking 2017.
We're talking 2015.
15 probably.
Yeah, 2015. If we're just saying greatest quarterback play,
35 passing touchdowns and 4,000 or however many yards, and
it was almost like 5,000. That was like 4,700 and something.
Yeah, I think he led the league. He pretty much led the league in almost total yards. Like I think it was like with passing and his rushing. It was some stupid stuff, but
yeah, it was like Cam Newton was like the only one that was like better than him.
It was a bunch of losing football.
Yeah, I can't go with that, man. It's Mark Brunell. It's Mark Brunell in 1996 or nothing. Like that's it, bro. Like I can't. That's rough. Yeah, Brunell. What the 96 season? What he took them to the AFC Championship? That's probably it. Like he led the league in passing yards that year, 4,300 in the 90s when they can actually bump and run a little bit. Come on, bro. Like that's a different conversation. And yes, they had a solid run game, obviously, so that kind of helped the thing. But nah, man.
Gentlemen, Blake did that. Blake did that on a bad team. That's my point on that.
In the lead that passes.
Injected at this because I know we were talking Brunell, and listen, I'm a Mark Brunell guy. I have a Mark Brunell jersey. That's how down with Mark Brunell I am. Okay, but Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell as a pair of receivers. Whereas your top receiver is alleged to have a head case situation for the first 4 games. Your second receiver is a rookie who's playing both ways and didn't finish the season. Your next best receiver wasn't even in the damned building yet. And the other is your returner who decided to pop the hell off out of nowhere because no one else was available. And Brenton Strange, who also missed time. And still, Trevor Lawrence has the first 4,000-yard season in Jaguars history while also being a threat on the ground in a way that no other Jaguars quarterback is or has been. Let's be careful about looking at just the numbers here, gentlemen. Jimmy Smith is a Hall of Fame caliber receiver. No one like that is on this current roster.
Look,
Mark Brunell was protected by a literal Hall of Famer. Trevor Lawrence has none of that.
But I also, in a separate conversation, I also say Trevor Lawrence, just in general, is the best quarterback we've ever had. Like I say that in other conversations, like in general.
Yeah,
if you're talking about a singular seat, like that's I guess I'm taking your question like verbatim how you're saying it. So
but that's weird. You go there and say the season's not done, but then say that Trevor could be the best all time when his career is far from done.
I think he already is the best.
I thought so. Again, the Mark Brunell season is why I look at it differently, is because that season was pretty much up from the start. Like not up from the start, but like he was on top for much of that season, and you knew it was a good season.
Yeah,
half the season in. Trevor had more of a roller coaster ride where we can objectively say both that Trevor Lawrence is playing out of his dang mind as of late, but also around the bye week at the middle point of the season, everybody had questions. And I don't think that's being crazy to kind of put out there, because we all have memories. Like at one point in this season, we all had like legitimate questions on what this was going to be, and then they built everything around it. Liam Cohen exists, and now Jacoby Myers shows up, and all these guys are incredible. I don't think that what Mark Brunell, like, yes, he had great receivers. I'm going to be clear on that. Yeah, he had the great guys, but also I don't think he had a better offensive coordinator. Like I think Liam Cohen is probably better than anything the Jacksonville Jaguars have ever had in this building as far as calling plays. Like Kevin Gilbride is nothing to talk about. Like, and that's not
that's your best retort is the OC. Okay.
No. That's just part of the conversation, because you mentioned the fact that there was no 1,000-yard receiver, and I'm like, that's a fair point. But also, who else is getting schemed open? Like the fact that we've had multiple games where we've had multiple touchdowns from Jacksonville Jaguars running backs, because he are pencil whipping the hell out of these guys, making it easy. He's making the hard things easy for Trevor Lawrence, and I'm giving the coach credit for that, but also giving Trevor Lawrence credit for that. So we're saying who had the best single season. I'm still going with Mark Brunell, because that's a pro offense. He was making these things happen, but yes, he had the skills and the tools to make those things happen. At the end of the day, I don't know where to land on that.
I'll go with Mark. I'll go with Mark for the best season. But I've even before this season, I've honestly, I think I said this in 22. I thought that Trevor was the best quarterback in the franchise. Even this is without even. Sure. I'm just watching it. I'm just watching it, and like I said, when I talked about you brought it up about the Hall of Famers.
Sure.
Who is the best player that Trevor Lawrence has ever played with on offense in his 5-year career?
Jacoby Myers. That's right. I mean, I can make a case for Evan Ingram or Christian Kirk, possibly, except for
Evan. Probably.
Hold on, and then look, and if you want to, and that's perfect, because you said the two names, because when those two guys were brought over here, everybody said Jaguars overpaid for Christian Kirk.
Yep.
Wow, you definitely overpaid for Evan Ingram. His career is over. He can't catch. Mm-hmm. And then they went, and then he turned those guys and had the career years, got them more money. It's what I'm saying. Like Trevor hasn't. People. That's the thing that I really don't like about LaShawn McCoy, is because he doesn't have. There's no context into what he says about Trevor.
He ain't watching the game.
He's supposed to be generational. Okay, but what the fuck does that even mean? That is labels that other people put on him. That's not something he put on himself. It's different. It's different.
Most NFL running backs ain't watching the games.
They're not.
They're hitting holes.
And they don't like the fact that people get paid people are getting paid a lot of money, and running backs are the ones that really aren't getting the money. And it's just bad. Every time I watch it, I'm just so happy that his own show, his own co-host had to go in and tell him that he's being a hater. Like
I mean, what better pairing than that dude and Emmanuel Acho? Am I right? Anyways, I said what I said.
But yeah, Kyle, it's nuanced though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like look, we just gave you like 3 different plus your take on it. You know what I'm saying? Like for like a season, then I think Travis has a point. But if we're just talking about just as a Jaguar quarterback, it's Trevor. It's Trevor hands down.
He has the most skills. Easily, he has the most skills. And now you have the offensive coordinator to match those skills.
And the thing is that
I don't even like him. Jesus Christ.
That's a fair start.
You couldn't even ask for that. Fucking quarterback got his head taken off with the damn arm brace, and the coach is just like, yeah, well, we have to look at it, but I mean, you got to get down. What the what?
I forgot about that, Jay.
Yeah, you got teammates liking
the
other
sling. Remember when his arm was in the sling? Well, does that affect anything? Maybe when he carries his bag. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you're a fucking asshole. Like,
we know he's up there. Like the fact that Trevor Lawrence, yes, has those 3 4,000-yard seasons. Shout out Gus Lowe for putting that information out on the socials.
Yeah, look,
Duval 22 BigCatCountry.com. But yeah, man. So yeah, he's obviously doing his thing.
The other 2 mentioned only did it 1 time each.
Yeah,
he's done it 3 3 out of the 5 years he's been here.
It's hard to continue. You can't demean Mark Brunell's stats again when that's 1996 when you can still bump and run as a cornerback.
That 43. That 43 is
that 43 is 5,000 these. That 43 is 5,000 these days, bro.
Yeah,
like, you still impressed me.
No, we're impressed. We're impressed.
We were throwing it a lot. I mean,
Jimmy.
Hell yeah. I wish we had bro. Think about Trevor Lawrence had a Jimmy Smith.
And
we thought we did.
That's the only quarterback from that 2021 draft class who's actually doing anything worth doing. And that's the biggest takeaway there.
But Matt Jones was supposed to supplant him, guys.
Yeah.
Dude, there was actual people out on these socials with Matt Jones Twitter accounts standing like that's crazy to me. But yeah, man. So Trevor Lawrence is the only one that's still playing for his original team. Everybody else is on their third, fourth, team. Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Matt Jones,
and only one other quarterback has taken a team to a playoff game. Outside of that, nothing.
Yeah,
I mean that is a fair point. Like it's
Mac.
So he's on. So obviously Trevor Lawrence is on his Baker Mayfield redemption tour, and everybody's apologizing. Or if they ain't apologized yet,
but it's not though. But it's not. It's not even. It's not even close to a Baker Mayfield redemption tour. It's not because Baker Mayfield had to get passed around like those other guys that you just showed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Trevor
was able to work it out with his girl. He had to, you know what I'm saying? He had to let her go and then come back. Like we shut it down right now. We locking in. We locking in.
That's fair.
But this is the reality. The reality is that Shad was smart enough to realize Trevor Lawrence is not failing us. The franchise has been failing Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
It's as plain as simple. Shit that Ryan Nielsen tried to do.
Was Shad smart enough to figure that out? Was Shad desperate enough to figure it out? There's a
I think it's a little bit of both. Because goddamn, you got the stadium about to be built. You've already done it all, and I think his analytics people, aka Tony, I think some people, I don't know, like I'm not always the best with X's and O's. But I feel like I trust what I see out on the field, and I don't know if that even really counts or means for anything. But a lot of that's based on what I'm seeing, and I'm just watching what a lot of bad has happened, what can or will go bad happen, what can and will work. And for the last 5 years, I've seen if not him performing at a super high level, performing at an above average level with subpar circumstances.
Yeah.
Literally, historically, the worst NFL coaching
to know that the subpar circumstances exist. You have to, at minimum, understand football. And I'm not saying that Shot don't understand nothing, but I am saying that there are levels to where I'm like, I don't know how much. I know, I know Tony fully understands this stuff. Obviously, he has a whole analytics company. But as far as the specifics of we're saying, like, hey, he was smart enough to figure this out. He almost left Trent Baalke still be in this building today. Like, let's be very clear about this. Like, that's after talking to all the staff in the building and still making that decision.
You think
because he didn't talk to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And when he talked to that right person.
Yeah,
when he talked to the right person,
he talked to Tony.
The right person was Liam Cohen. The right person he talked to was Liam Cohen saying, "I'm out." And then he had to talk to Tony.
Big Bo.
Tony. When he talked to Tony,
I'm saying he talked to Tony after Liam was like, "I'm out." He had to get Liam back at the table. That's what I'm saying.
Because he had already sent away.
And honestly, he had to be smart enough. He had to be smart enough to know when he was about to continue going down the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's fair. Eventually,
because he could have just put it on the table. No, this is what we're going to do. But he,
eventually. I call that being desperate. That's all. I say you're at the point where you
listen. You are right. You are right. It is because I called it his biggest gamble in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I said he just said, "Fuck, I'm going all in," and he pushed all his chips on the table. So yes, that could be seen as desperate. So I agree with you, but I will say this: that Shad Khan, nobody can honestly say, if you know anything about the and not you guys, but like if you really follow the team, that Shad Khan has poured money. He has done everything for this team. Like everything that the people that he put in place told him that he should do. You get what I'm saying? Like everything that they said that you should do, he's like, okay, I need to restructure this guy and give him money up front. Okay, open up the checkbook, wrote it. The new stadium deal, like there was just so many things that the shipyard project, things that he did to cement himself in this city and to build up this team. Like bro, he was throwing money at this team trying to make it better. So that's why I say like
money wasn't what was needed. That's all. It's not to say money is not appreciated, but money don't solve everything because bad decisions behind money still just equals expensive bad decisions.
Because
right, but it still got fixed, is what I'm saying.
The evidence to that is the decision to even hire Urban Meyer in the first place. That was a money grab. That wasn't a football move. Let's be clear.
Well, that's to get the stadium. No, that was to get the stadium. You needed the Gator boosters. You needed that was to get the approval for all that. Because as soon as they hired him on, within 2 months, they were appreciate you. Thanks. That's the best thing Urban Meyer could have ever fucking did. Sorry, could have ever done for our franchise is get all that stuff pushed through because it's Urban Meyer and his celebrity.
Fair.
And then the next hire after that is
training facility, the new locker room. You know,
and all that's good, but all that comes after winning. That's my underlying point. I hear y'all. It's good, but it needs to come after winning, and it came the opposite direction.
But that's the credit to Khan right there. How many business we could take a losing, sorry franchise and lift all that up? That's where he's powerful.
Yeah, that's my point.
Right, yeah. And the other piece was
just playing around. This is like play, and honestly, this is play money for Shad Khan. This is like when we in the like for regular people, you're like, oh my god, just billions of man. He already got, but he $700 million is the investment initially.
You're not wrong. So when we getting them prowlers, because that's the case, man. Because stop playing. That's play money. That's fine to be play money. It's fine.
I think we can wear them on Saturday, can we, or Sunday?
I was wrong.
From my understanding, I don't believe we can, but I know that they're going to try to go to the NFL and figure it out. Whether or not
I was wrong. So
get it pushed through.
They did change the uniform rule, but it's you can only wear the alternate pants.
It's the alternate pants, correct? That's what everybody keeps saying is you wear alternates. I'm like, nah, that's not what the rules say. I read it very specifically. I looked for a while to make sure I wasn't crazy on the rules.
Because I'm thinking about the fight, I'm like, man, because we ain't even got to change nothing in the stadium. You can just leave. You can just leave everything how it was from last week.
No, that's actually a fair point, Timmy Devil. He says, nah, I disagree, Travis, because the Jaguars had Fs across the board on facility grades, and the change didn't need to happen. You know, some of the ways that they treated the players, all those grades from the NFL player surveys. That's a fair point. That did happen, and some of those changes did need to be made. So from that perspective,
and that's how you get people in the building too.
That's how you get free agents to come in.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, I think he did the thing that he knows how to do best. And invest in something until it works. The problem is he just had the wrong people telling him what to do.
That's it.
And he just finally realized it. And that's all. Like sometimes it takes you a while. And people stay in bad relationships for a long time.
And I'll give another nod.
But we're wrapping Trevor up. I just want to get done with that because we rabbit trailing so much. I love the conversation, but I do want to make sure we get through everything. Trevor was 22 of 30 for 255 yards and 3 touchdowns on Sunday. To wrap the regular season up, and you know we've all seen all the ups and downs from him earlier in this season. Some of that might have been about the receivers and everybody else, but some of that was obviously still involving Trevor.
Almost 50 drops.
But since the bye week, he's had 19 touchdowns, 1 turnover, in 5.5 games since Thanksgiving. Like they've won 8 in a row, and in that 8-game winning streak, he leads the NFL with 24 touchdowns scored. He's obviously played his best ball now, and even though some people don't want to get off the original hole that they dug themselves saying that he's terrible, he's not generational, all these things, he's obviously seriously underrated, and I just think that he deserves that, all the credit that he needs. Like, wait, I don't even think I thought about this, though. He has 5 game-winning drives and 3 fourth-quarter comebacks this year also. I realized that only when I looked up the numbers earlier today, and I was like, dang, is it really like that?
Yeah, yeah. When we weren't blowing teams out, he was like, and that's the thing I wanted to say a little bit earlier. Like, but to get off of Trevor now is that even this year, even the ups and downs or whatever, he never put. We never lost a game because of Trevor Lawrence this year. He put us in position to lose games, but then we ended up winning those games. But we ended up winning the games that he was putting us in position to lose.
Except because the defense bailed him out, or the run game bailed him out on the bad games that he played, and none of the bad games that he played were losses because of him specifically, where we just didn't get both ways.
It's very
that's a weird way. That's a weird way of putting it, but all right.
I put Cincinnati on him.
It's very semantic. It's very semantic.
No. No,
Cincinnati. I mean,
I can't.
That was too much of a team problem.
BTJ almost single-handedly lost us that game, and then that was a terrible.
Diami dropped that touchdown.
Yes,
Diami dropped the touchdound,
and that was a terrible PI.
Diami catches that touchdown. The game's over.
Awful. Yes. But if he doesn't make the throw that he does, he forces.
I can't put the Cincinnati game on him. He threw the touchdown pass to Diami that he drops. He threw the pass on fourth down to BTJ, which he drops in the red zone.
That he started at the orphanage himself. That's my take. You don't have to agree with me. That's just what I.
It's fair, but I think that's why I say it's more of a team loss, because there was still other guys who had.
In y'all's defense, if that official doesn't make that garbage call and Travis Hunter's allowed to make the game-winning pass defended, then yeah, I'm not having this talk. That's fair.
So yeah, like I said, these games were a lot of these games. Like I said, the Seahawks game, I think that was a winnable game.
That's the biggest one for me. The Seahawks.
I would say because I think that was a winnable game. I just think everybody.
They had a seriously injured defensive back core. Yeah. You knew what they were going to play. They were going to play a boatload of cover 4 and a boatload of cover 2. You knew what was going to happen going into the game, because they did the same thing the week before, because they were seriously injured that week. It was a clear thing. And then one of the first questions that Trevor answered in his press conference that day after the game was, I forget exactly how he said it, but the gist of it being was like, I was trying to run the ball early on and trying to extend plays. Essentially, he basically used the Kansas City Chiefs game plan for the Jaguars to try to run the ball and extend plays like that, and that wasn't the game to do it. Essentially, that the
especially
Seahawks,
with the O-line getting crushed by the
the Seahawks knew it, and he took unnecessary negative plays early in that game. So that's the one I put on Trev, maybe.
And I think the 2 times we did that, that happened twice this season. I think that was one of the games, and then I think the Cardinals game, because we had just beat, I think it was right after the Colts, right? And we kept throwing those, we kept trying to throw those, just everything inside, crossing inside. Instead,
none of the receivers wanted to do it,
and none of the receivers were really running, and they was hitting, and they was stepping and jumping in front of passes, and that's how you throw 4 picks or 3 picks. However many picks he threw. Like, to me, that was the 2 games. That was the 2 games where I was like, okay, coaching staff, we could have switched it up on actual play calls, and then we could have beat a team, and then the other one we didn't have to go to overtime with a bad team.
Yeah, so they learned. They figured it out throughout this season. They kind of learned, and because of it, they kind of molded a lot of guys by giving those guys those opportunities, especially when they went through those injury situations.
And
then you get guys like Antonio Johnson, who gets more, who snaps increased because you got Eric Murray hurt, and at one point, then you got Brenton Strange was out at that point. Foyer's obviously balling out of control. Jarian Jones gets increased snaps because of everything going on with the cornerback room, and Parker freaking Washington. You got the issues going on with Brian Thomas at that point, and then Jacoby getting in, and all of the guys that I just named are your top 5 Pro Football Focus graded guys from the Jacksonville Jaguars season finale, like Foyer, Brenton Strange, Antonio Johnson, Jarian Jones, Parker Washington. Like, that's your team full of underrated guys, essentially, all kind of being developed, to your earlier point, but also guys who have just kind of put it together and figured it out when they had those increased opportunities. Like,
yeah, but there's guys who's not even on the list. Buster, you know what I'm saying? Like Buster Brown, playing out of his mind.
We've talked about him a lot on this.
Matt Dickerson, essentially becoming a starter. Mason Smith is a healthy scratch.
Yeah,
again,
can't develop everything, I guess. Yeah, it's what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
It may take another year or 2. Like, I think Mason is probably one of the biggest projects still And maybe it may be that may be a bulky blunder.
I was about to say, where's your boy bulky?
It may be a bulky blunder, but this is also his first year in a real defense in a real program in the NFL. We'll see how it is. Like I said, that was another nod I wanted to give to the front office because they're doing a lot of things I think that are just a little bit. I mean, a lot of things that are just a lot different from the last regime. Like
sure, but he also had problems getting on the field with the last regime. Yeah. You gonna overlook that?
I mean, I don't know what he had going on. I know he was injured
on the field with.
I can't tell you what was going on, but they had Miles Cole out there getting snaps, and Mason Smith was a healthy scratch. I'm just being clear about what happened.
I mean, but there was also a lot of bad decisions being made all over the defense.
Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't say it was a problem last year. I'm not saying it wasn't bad decisions, but I'm saying you can't say it was a bad decision then, and it's also happening with the good staff now, and it was still a bad. They
was playing rock paper scissors out there to see who was going to play.
Speaking of Ryan Nelson's the coach for the Bills.
Oh my gosh,
perfect! And yeah, and look at the defense looking. I need him to have more input. I need him to have more input. Because his game plan against the Bills last year was exactly the complete opposite of what the game plan should have been, and the numbers, every stat showed it. And he said, "You know what? We're not going to play any man coverage. We're not going to play any zone. We're just say, you know what? We're just going to let Josh Allen throw the ball all over us in man coverage for 75% of the game, which is insane."
Well, this is with us having the Buffalo Bills coming up. I mean, this week, obviously, like we want to have a really good thing Friday podcast previewing this game. But I do think it's interesting that I think we talked about this a few weeks ago. The fact that the Jaguars have so many different options in this wide receiver group now, and none of the guys are just like these super like your true number one guys. It's a lot of guys who can be your temporary number one for that week, and it works out just fine. Like over the last 4 weeks has been Parker Washington because he's been literally a top 3 player in the NFL in yardage over the past 4 games. The dude got over 400 yards. That's literally 3rd in the NFL over the last 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. That makes it's Jimmy's and Joe's over X's and O's. Like it's diagnosing what the defense is going to do pre-snap and finding the right matchup that gives your team the advantage on a play-by-play basis. And then for the Jaguars, that's easy. Hey, my 3rd guy is better than your 3rd cornerback or your 2nd safety. Parker Washington getting open. I mean, hell, he broke PS2's ankles, and PS2's out there trying to tackle the man on the play, and they didn't call pass interference in that game on that play. But they had Darius Stingley on him in the second Houston game.
I'm so appreciative to have drafted him here.
Bro, like Parker Washington is truly developed, but at the same time, it's also the fact that they have so many good guys who are at least, you don't want to call them number ones, fine. They are at least solid number 2s to the point where your 3rd, 4th guy, and the Buffalo Bills don't really have a 3rd or 4th guy right now. We'll talk about that on Friday. That didn't give you some serious opportunity. That's it. I wrote it in my Big Cat Country article. Check that out in the post-game recap. But just like y'all remember when on Sunday when they had that one drive where it was like all Parker Washington, they had like 3 catches, 2 of them like contested. He caught the touchdown pass. Right. And then the next drive, the Tennessee Titans, they countered a little bit. They played a little bit more man. They did a little bit more bracket coverage. And I'm like, all right. And then the Jaguars punted. I believe it was 2 series in a row. And then they were like, all right, that's fine. We got Brent Strange. It's okay. Mm-hmm. And then he gets like 4 of the 5 catches on the next series. And he scored. That's the drive. He scored the touchdown. And I'm like, what do you do with that if you're a defense? Because they got so many options where he's just like, nah, that's fine. You take him away, I'll go to him. You take him away, I'll go to BTJ. It's just, hey, leave.
We haven't had, you can't, like I said, even really since those games I mentioned about the duplicate kind of game, we haven't seen the same game plan really since.
It's that self-scouting piece Travis has been talking about all season. Yeah.
There's nothing that they can't even scout against it because we don't even know what we're going to do. So how the hell you gonna know what we're gonna do? We don't even know what we're gonna do. Which is even with But
from that perspective, all these guys kind of have a reason to have a chip on their shoulder, and I do understand it because the way that the media is treating them, the way that the fan base sometimes treat them. Let's be real about it. Like the way that opposing fan bases treat them. If you're looking for a reason or a way to lean on that as a coach or as a fan, that's there. It's easily there because everybody hates Duval, I guess, because it seems to be the thing that's in.
I think it's unfair for the players to expect the fans to have like unwavering, like never have anything negative to say about
a team that's losing.
Yeah, like I mean, like, bro,
you're not wrong.
This shit costs a lot of money, dog.
You ain't wrong.
It costs a lot of money, and
that's what I did feel. That's why I did feel bad for people who got like shouted out by Eric Armstead on his Instagram post.
I honestly, the media people, I don't have a problem with him going at Dan. I don't have a because Dan is a fan, but Dan is also in the media, and he goes further than he probably should. But he's been who he is for how long he is. So just whatever it is, what it is.
Yeah.
You can go at them, but don't go at the fans. To me, don't go at the fans because, bro, you're new to this, dog. I understand and I appreciate the contributions, but you're new to this, dog. And honestly, in my opinion, you didn't have to sign up for rock paper scissors last year. You could have been a man about it and said, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable. I feel comfortable playing D tackle and kicking me outside sometimes, not me rotating in and out at tackle and in and so you have to have some accountability on it." People were completely pissed off last year about the shit. It was not that to me. That's completely warranted, and it's like, and then during the season, you're like, well, this is this, and then after the season, this is this. Come on, dog. Which one is it? You can't have it's man. It's not one. Hey, man.
I hear you. All I'm saying is I understand it if these guys have a chip on their shoulder, and I'm with you to say, obviously you don't go at the fans, like especially you don't go at the fans when the times are great. Like that's the weirdest part about it.
Weirdest part, like okay, you're using the fan, you're using us as part of it. I mean, use what you got to use. Yeah, use what you got to use. I guess whatever, but I don't think you should have made that public knowledge.
But also, I understand that you got a chip on your shoulder because if that's what helps you get this 3-sack game, hey man, call me out. Hey, Eric Armstead, Travis D. Holmes on all the socials. If I said something negative about you, if it helps you get a 3-sack game on Sunday, hey bro, use it. Put me out there. I don't care. Like I'm here for whatever it's gonna take to get these dudes W. So in one way, I get it. But I'm just saying, I thought it was odd when I saw the fans that were involved in that. That's all.
So, and we're over an hour in, and I know that Travis, you still have one final point that I see titled, "Don't be scared."
Brother, man, that's what it's come down to. So the guys over at Big Cat Country, shout out to my guys over at Big Cat Country. They put out a survey last week before we knew who the Jaguars were going to be playing, basically asking which AFC's playoff team scares Jaguars fans the most. And I was like, yo, really? 49% of Jacksonville Jaguars fans said the Houston Texans. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, I mean, that's who was familiar to, I guess, the fan base. So that's the team that most people didn't want to play. But then second on that list, as we head into Friday's Bills preview, was the Buffalo Bills with 24% of the fan base. New England was third at 18%, and Denver was at 8% at 4%. And I know why the Chargers were 1% because we beat the brakes off the Chargers. Yes, of course.
There's that, right? Now, I think that actually says more about the lack of respect for the rest of the AFC than it does about respect for the Texans, in my opinion.
I was gonna say tallest midget.
Jeez. I need one of them disclaimers. I don't even know.
The opinions expressed.
Tallest little person.
Jeez. All right. Yeah. I mean, but I thought the Bills would be up there. I thought the Bills would be the top team. Honestly, just because
the national
quarterback. I don't think the roster is great, but the quarterback.
But as fans, we hold on to these curses or these whatever, because bro, Josh Allen don't be beaten like that last one. That was like, to me, that's fluky.
That was his first time, and it was his first time ever beating us. We're 2-1 against Josh Allen.
Bro, he don't be doing nothing. Like he really, honestly, like I said, outside of that game, he don't do nothing against us.
Because we've never seen
for weeks.
We've never seen the elite level, the elite version of Josh Allen when we have a good team, basically, is what I'm hearing you say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
we've seen Josh Allen, who's been in MVP conversation for the past 5-6 years, and we've played him however many times. And like I said, we played him 3 times. We played him 3 times, and only one time and none of those times we had good teams. So it's like, and he never, and only one time he did, and only one time he looked like it.
I remember both times they were beat, Jay. It was a shot. I remember the Duval.
I don't know about that.
Who's the real Josh Allen? Like, you remember, these are the things that they're doing.
The London game. Josh Allen. The London game. Josh Allen played really dang well. They just didn't have
not to the end. Not to the end. Stephon Diggs or whoever his main receiver was at the time caught that big. Like, I can't believe he caught that bomb.
That was a legit catch.
Yeah, like he did. We had him contained in both of those games, and then you took away the guy that did it, and you gave us the guy that's at the Buffalo Bills. I don't even want to say his name anymore. Just the guy that's over at the Buffalo Bills, and they played his defense, and he had defensive ends going in coverage on running backs. Lined up on the opposite side of the defensive end. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so I thought Josh Allen in that London game played well because I knew he didn't have a run game. Like, that was my piece of that when saying, like, dude, that dude had no run game. I believe he was the leading rusher for their team that game, if I remember correctly. Like, there was nothing else but him. So that's when I say supporting cast was what mattered most. Jaguars weren't great, but that's why I said, I get it. So that's the best version we've seen.
That was 23 while we were on that 8-3 run.
Yeah, before everything went down. That's kind of what I'm saying.
But we were still playing like they were, man. If you go and look at those games,
the offense wasn't playing great. No,
they were playing. It's not even not. They were playing terrible.
The defense was fine.
The defense kept getting us the ball back early on in those first couple of games, and the offense just kept poo-pooing every time. The Colts game broke. The Chiefs game broke us, but then the Colts took advantage of us, and then it just
So you're saying what I'm saying, that this might be the best version of Josh Allen that the Jacksonville Jaguars have actually faced, especially being a good team. So it should be interesting to see how this thing wraps up.
This is the worst. No, this is the worst version.
Do you think this is the worst one?
Absolutely.
I think it's the worst roster. That's where I
think.
I agree. I think this is the worst.
He might be personally playing better. So I'm with you. I think with saying himself is playing the best probably because. I mean, last year he won MVP last year, so we played him last year. He was MVP, and he did what he did,
and he beat the brakes up. Yes,
yeah, but but that was like I said. I mean, he was supposed to. We let him do that. That was all by design. You saw Ryan Nielsen went over there, so he obviously has some kind of allegiance to that staff.
Man, he was playing all man coverage, and they didn't have the guys play no man coverage like that. Like, that's just what it came down to. That was an easy one.
Yeah, you gave up before the game started. So I mean, we'll see how it happens with a real defense.
I think this is the worst. This is the worst, Josh, I have seen. And I believe you guys watch football outside of Jacksonville. Like,
yes.
I watch football, right? And I watch Bill games, and I've seen him in those Bills games. And Josh Allen, and I say this all the time about Trevor Lawrence. Like, we had a conversation earlier. Saying that, Trevor, at the time we're saying Trevor Lawrence is an elite, but he's an average to an above average quarterback for the circumstances that he has. But the stuff I see the fans kill or the media kill Trevor Lawrence on, I see the Josh Allens and the Patrick Mahomes and the Lamar Jacksons and the Joe Burrows. I see them do the same things. And instead of it, he threw the ball out too wide. He missed a layup. You got to make that pass. It's the receivers got to help him out on that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a narrative that goes on Trevor where in reality Trevor looks just like Josh Allen. I'm not saying Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence are the same guy. I'm just saying when you look at when they're playing their best football, that's what they look like.
I think the current version of Trevor Lawrence and the prototypical version that you recognize of Josh Allen, of who he is as a quarterback, are very similar. I think Trevor Lawrence right now and Josh Allen are so similar that I'm probably going to make a very weird comparison on Friday's podcast talking about this. I'm pretty sure I have I got to look up the stats to make sure it matches up, but I have a feeling a lot of the advanced data is going to kind of match it up exactly, like very identical, where I think Trevor Lawrence is playing a lot like Josh Allen right now in the ways that they're being used in the playbook and everything else. So I just think they're the same type of lands.
I think they're them along with a bunch of other quarterbacks are the same type of quarterbacks. It's just that
inconsistency is where I push back on that. Trevor's inconsistency was a lot more inconsistent early on.
Look, I don't because again, like I'm about the nuance of it. This is the difference. Okay, I'm just gonna say this, but you and me will have a conversation later. The difference goes back to something Jay said earlier. You can't honestly, if you watch the football games this year, you can't give me two games. You can't give me two games that you can definitively say Trevor Lawrence lost us that game.
Sure.
Cool. No, and I think
every loss that the Bills have, except for one, is because Josh Allen lost them that fucking game. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry.
No, and like the missed pass to at the end of I think it was the Cardinals game. I think it was, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. So I see what you're getting at with that for sure too.
I think what Josh Allen is going through right now is, as a veteran, he is now playing on a team that is built around him, lifting these guys up. Whereas that's exactly what we saw from Trevor Lawrence in previous seasons, and we gave him that same pass when he was inconsistent. I'm only landing there to say I think that they are very similar in a lot of ways, but also that's by design, which is why they're running the ball a lot more to try to hide Josh Allen until the fourth quarter, and then he can just be crazy Josh Allen to kind of win the game on the margins, like the Kansas City Chiefs did here. Honestly, that's exactly how Kansas City rolled.
But I agree with you though. Like I agree. My statement was based off what I was saying, that Josh Allen is playing. We're going to see we are facing a worse version of Josh Allen than we have faced in the past, is what I'm saying.
I just didn't see him playing elite against this team in the past, other than that 24 game, but then that was a bad defense. So it's kind of hard to figure out what kind of credit you can really give there. I mean, the participation trophies.
But our defense, okay, the Mike Caldwell defense gave him hell.
Yes, like the zone Mike Caldwell defense, and a lot of these zone defenses give him hell. Yes,
Ryan Nielsen did the bullshit he did. The shit that the opposite stuff from the zone that worked against Josh Allen every time we had played him previously.
Nielsen was all about playing the defense that he plays, and offenses will react to what I'm doing. Whereas
that's not true. That's what Campanelli does. That's the difference.
Yeah, Campanelli does. I'm going to play whatever you struggle against. That's what Campanelli is doing. Like, he's very versatile in that way. Nielsen was the opposite, so I understood it.
So at day's end, what we've figured out is that the MIT are snipers because they have all of Travis's triggers. That's why we're at damn near an hour and 20 minutes. So with all that in mind, fam, I know we've had a great time here on The Dive. We could do a 4-hour show for you guys, but don't forget, of course, if you aren't already liking, subscribing, do it. And gentlemen, of course, whenever you extend the invitation to come in your house, we'll do that as well. But in the meantime, Jay, tell the world where you could be found, my friend.
Hey, Men In Teal Podcast, Twitter, Facebook group.
All the things, Jimbo. YouTube,
Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch, everywhere, man. Shout out to Daryl. I see Daryl in the chat, man. I see a lot of our people in the chat, man.
Yeah, they're popping out tonight.
Yeah, man.
And catch us on Thursday nights, 7:30. We go live. We always do a live show, so check us out. Hey, man, we keep it real, we keep it teal. So appreciate you guys for having us on. Travis, like I said, bro, we're gonna have some conversation.
I know we're gonna talk.
We're gonna talk, man. Kyle, man, thank you so much, brother. As always, it was a blast. And yeah, bro, we got to set it up so we can do the next crossover in our block.
I'll have my beer ready to go so I can have my vice on air just like Jay. It'll be all
yes,
tight.
Sir.
Champion!
Now in the mix with the Men In Teal.
Champion! Tell the world where you could be found.
Hey, man, you can find me on all the socials, Travis D. Holmes, finding my writing covering the Jaguars on BigCatCountry.com. And if you are listening to the sound of my voice, please take a quick second and just rate and review us on the audio side, or like and subscribe on the YouTube side, because we are approaching 1,000 subscribers on that YouTube side. And that's because you guys continue locking it in. You continue commenting, you continue liking, and we appreciate you guys so much for continuing to do that. And if you have something that you want to hear us talk about, hit us up on the socials, hit us up on the TikTok, hit us up on Discord, wherever. So we can take your idea and flesh it out and make it into a subject or make it into a podcast. Because that's all we do. We react to y'all. Whatever you're talking about is what we're talking about.
Well, we make it a conversation to include all of you as well, because at the end of the day, I'm Kyle Nash, a student of the game, and I'm looking for that discussion more than anything else. It ain't just about making ideas and triggering y'all, folks. You want that? Listen to The Facility. Oh, wait, that's not a thing anymore. But with that in mind, special thanks, of course, to the Men in Teal, my personal champion, Travis D. Holmes. This is Kyle Nash, student of the game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my action covering the UCF Knights football and basketball, as well as my work covering the Orlando Magic, who are also playing the Nets tonight. That's a whole thing. But with all of that, thank you all in the comments as well for keeping it purely electric. Y'all are still going even after the show is about done. That's what I like to see. I'll look that up later. And that's okay.
Duval, let's go, man.
Wait, I'm supposed to say it this way. Duval.
Oh, hey.
Apparently, we've been messing it up this whole time. I ain't know.
Gentlemen, an honor, joy, and privilege. Commenters, thank you. Champion, I'm going to see you on the other side. You know that. Till next time, everyone. Class dismissed.